What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone for a late match reaction. Juve nil, Roma nil, and I think at the end of the day, just a fair result. Probably out of the three games, not probably, 100% the worst game on a technical level. Really poor. Just a lot of kind of garbage in our play. Slow, especially in that first half, misplacing 1,000 passes, no real ideas, to be honest. In the first half, it was more of an issue that my biggest concern with the transfer window was we didn't have a ball playing center back, and we saw that today, and for a different reason. Usually if a team presses you, it can cause problems. Roma did the opposite today. They just kept Locatelli and Fagioli out of that game. Fagioli more so for his own fault, to be honest. I thought he was hiding a lot of the times. But they kept Locatelli and Fagioli out of that game, meaning that they just told Gatti and Bremer, Savona, you guys pin that ball deep and make it work, which they couldn't. I know people say Cambiaso and Bangola had a poor game. What you don't see in TV is a full pitch, and they were open 1,000 times. Like Cambiaso was asking for that ball, I don't know how many times, but that ball was just not coming. Nobody could play that ball, and that was the biggest issue in that first half. I don't agree when people say that we played for the point. I think we played to win. It was just not today. There was no ideas. It was slow. It was predictable, really, really predictable. Roma came in the first half. I thought Roma tried to play, especially with Sule a couple of times, but they really quickly kind of switched to, okay, a point is a point, and they did what they had to do. They picked up that point. They deserved that point at the end of the day, because we did not enough. They did slightly less, in my opinion. And that's what I said early on. Enjoy Verona, enjoy Como, but when people say we need to win the Scudetto, we're up there with Inter, that's not true because of this reason. And the reason is that you can chuck in Colt Miners and Conceição and Gonzalez. It needs time. You can see a lot of times it was off script. If somebody makes a movement and he doesn't get the ball, or the ball gets played and he doesn't make a movement. It all needs time. Even if you bring in Douglas Luiz, overall, this was a big test. I'm not gonna say a big test failed. It's more of a learning curve. We're not a top team right now. We were in the top team when we beat Como and Verona. We will be a top team, yes or no, at the end of the season. That's when you basically make a judgment and say, okay, now we're a top team. But overall, it was just a poor game. We just need to be honest. No need to panic. I think you can only panic if you thought we were going to win every single game. I was expecting us to win that game because I think we have more quality than Roma. The quality hasn't gelled, but just in general, it's like, okay. Now, 7 out of 9, that's a good start. It's a good start. I get it. It's a bit frustrated, but we're not going to win every game, especially not this season. It's more so a frustration that we didn't play well. We never had a feeling we were going to win that game. Not once was I looking at that game and I was like, okay, we're going to win it. Actually, very early on, especially towards the end of that first half, I was like, there's actually no chance we're going to win this game. You're going to win that game with a mistake or a one off-script movement from a player. Otherwise, that was the type of game we're going to play, and we played that type of game. You need to give Roma credit because I think Ndika was fantastic. They did what they had to do, and they came for the point, because they had, I think, 1 out of 6 points. They couldn't afford to lose. They have 2 out of 9, I think it is right now. It's not fantastic as well. I'm not going to claim that. However, they can take a lot of confidence out of this game. We will look at this game being disappointed, being like, okay, we didn't play a team that caused us any real issues, but the issue is we didn't cause them some real issues, and that boils down to a lot of mistakes in that first half. Off passes. In the second half, we tried. We bring in a Conceição, like I said. That's a player very direct. A bit like Chiesa. My issue was we didn't hand him the ball a lot of times. What was it? 3, 4, 5 times. You needed to get him that ball consistently, and he needed to drive. If you were going to win that game somehow today, it was Conceição who was going to need to do that. But if you give him the ball 3, 4, 5 times, it's not enough. You need to give him 10, 20, 30 touches. You just need to feed him over and over and over again and let him try something, because that was the only real danger today. I thought Yildiz was quiet. I thought Fagioli had a poor game. I didn't like him at Verona. I think he will be on that bench really soon, if I'm being completely honest. Colt Miners came in. You can see it's a bit off script, it's too early to say, oh, this and that. It was off script. Gonzalez, Douglas Luiz, that was just pure quality. He's just, technically, he's probably our most talented midfielder, on a technical level. But defensively, like, he reads the game very well. Like, he sets himself up pretty well, even off the ball, closes down space. So I thought he had a good impact. I think Colt Miners, Douglas Luiz, those are the players we're going to see more often. He brings in McKennie. No idea why. Traveled so long to watch McKennie give away the ball for a corner in the last seconds. Like, that was frustrating. But like, players like Fagioli, they're probably not going to see the pitch anytime soon, in my opinion. But yeah, overall, it's frustrating. I get it. I wanted to have 9 out of 9 points. It's not the case. We need to live with it, and we need to go ahead. It's international break. Doesn't really help, but I don't like the overreaction is, or the reaction is, oh, it's Catenaccio, and we were playing Allegri type of football. We weren't. We were trying. It wasn't there today. It wasn't there. I thought Gatti had a brilliant game defensively. Like, defensively, it is what it is. It's on the ball, and opponents will know. Just hand them the ball. That is my biggest issue, when they will hand us the ball, and they need to make it work. I thought Savona had a very, very good game defensively. He looks very solid, but you can see, I'm confident. Like, I'm not gonna panic. I'm not even gonna panic if we ended up with 15 points out of 24 or something. I'm just saying something. I won't panic, because this needs time. I'm not expecting us to win. I'm expecting us to grow, and this is part of it. Growing. We started with Mbangula, and that set up again. We knew you spend a lot of money for Colt Miners, Douglas Luiz, Conceição, Gonzalez. These players aren't gonna come into the team and add quality, like you can see with Conceição, type of player he is. Colt Miners as well. He's extremely composed on the ball, but you can see it was off script. Tried to flick a couple of balls, the movement wasn't there. Other way around, the 1-2 and McKennie. Not sure what McKennie was doing in the box, trying to lay it off again for I don't know which reason it was. But you just need to relax. It's frustrating. I get it, especially for me, because I traveled to watch that. But still, it's a point. You take that point, you leave with it. Again, you can't compare it with Inter, what they did against Atalanta. They are further ahead. They don't need to add 8 new players in a squad. That's completely different reality. And we will have hiccups, probably against worse teams as well. It's just, are you going to learn from it? Are you going to improve? And I don't really have a doubt that we will improve right now. There's no sign that we will not improve. But there are some issues. Like I said, center-backs that can play with the ball. You need to find a solution for that. You need to try to break down clubs better, especially if they come to the stadium and be like, okay, you make it work and they are solid. You need to find a way. And that way, in my opinion, was today, feed Conceição way more, give him more touches. We didn't do that, and just we need to do. But that's it for me. Like, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.